Narendra Kumar, and now this session is on C programming. So Pallab sir already explained some concept of C programming. So I'm continuing with the statement. So this time I am okay. So in this programming, I am continuing with statement. So all of you know that the C programming are the collection of statement, and collection of statement, and statement is an executable part of the program, and it will do some action with the conditions also. So in general, all the arithmetic action and logical actions are falls under the statement categories. So I think slide is visible to you.
Yes, sir.
So yes, sir. So in general, all the arithmetic action and the logical actions are falls under the statement category. Anyway, there are a few statements. Few statement under this category. Like first in this PPT, you can see that the expression statement. So expression statement according to the this definition. So it is the combination of variables, constant and operators, functions call, and followed by the semicolon. Means what the statement we use the semicolon. So this is the part of the expression statement, and the expression can be any operation like arithmetic operation or logical operation. So in this category, like if you are writing in C programming, x is equal to y plus 10, or you are writing that a is equal to 10 plus 20. So this type of statement is the part of the expression statement. Means if you want to calculate something, some variables, or you are assigning some variables and using the semicolon after that. So all this type of statement is the part of the expression statement. So in the next statement is the compound statement. I will explain it with example also. So second is the compound statement. So compound statement, according to the definition of the compound statement is combination of several expressions statement, and compound statement are enclosed within the brackets. So compound statement also we can call it block statement. So the feature of this compound statement is that there is no need of any semicolon at the end of the compound statement, and this is the example of if we talk about the example of compound statement, like after the conditional statement, if you want to execute more than one statement, more than one statement. So this is the example of compound statement, and the third is the selection statement. So in the selection statement, it is used in decision making, like if else all this statement is the part of this statement, selection statement, and used for decision making situation. And we will look about the selection statement in next example when we will talk about detail about all the statement, if else and switch. So we will discuss it. And next is the iterative statement. So there are also called as loops. And if we want to execute a part of the program many times, we will use the loop. So we will going to explain each and every loop in detail in later next section. So this is the main definition of this statement. And next is the jump statement. So jump statement, there are unconditional statements. Jump statement are useful to transfer the control one part of the program to another part. If you want to execute the statement number 10 after the statement number 1, so or 3, so you can use the jump statement. So example of these jump statements like go to, continue, break, and return. So these are some examples. And last is level statement. So this statement generally we can choose the various options using the case statement and default level statement. Is using the go to statement also. So next is the expression statement. So you can see that in this PPT, this is the example of expression statement. So expression statement, I have already told you that it is the combination of variable, constant, operator, and functions that follow by the semicolon. So in this example, you can see that we have assigned the x is equal to 5, and after that we are using the semicolon, and x is equal to y minus z. So this is also a part of the expression statement, and statement that has only the semicolon, also known as the null statement, means if you are using the directly in one line semicolon, so this will be the example of null statement. So these are some examples of expression statement. And in the next, this is the compound statement. So this is the example of compound statement. So compound statement are block of a group of statement enclosed within the pair of curly brackets. So this is the example, and the statement inside the blocks are executed sequentially. Use of this compound statement generally we use with the conditional statement or selection statement. Like after if you are checking some conditions if number is if x is the greater than y, if you want to execute the more than two statement or more than one statement, so you will use the compound statement. Like in this example, you can see there that we are calculating the area in this after some conditions. So after some conditions, if you want to execute more than one statement, you can use the compound statement with the selection statement. So this is the example. And this is example of the selection statement. So in this statement is used to test a condition that one or two possible actions, like if age is greater than 18, so students are eligible for voting, and he can also select the party. So multiple statement if you want to execute after the conditions, like if age is greater than 18, so you can execute the multiple statement, more than one statement with help of the compound statement. And if you are using if you want to execute a single statement, so not the need to breaks, directly it can execute, like in the syntax one, you can see here that this is the if and condition, and next is the statement. So the statement one will directly execute after the checking the condition. So if a condition is true, then the single statement or block of statement is executed. So if you want to execute the block of statement, need to use the breaks. Otherwise, for in case of the single statement, directly program will execute it. So this is the example. Otherwise, if condition is matched, then the block of statement or statement will execute. Otherwise, another single statement or block of statement is execute. This is the part of the else. So here is if condition is true. So in this example, you can see here. So if a condition is true, then statement is executed, and if the condition is false, means 0, then the next statement will be executed. So in the if statement, the check whether the next expression inside the bracket is true or not. The test expression is true statement inside the body of if statement is executed, but if test is false, so statement inside body of if is ignored. So if you are using as if statement and you are not using the else statement, so if condition, the compiler will check the condition, and if condition is true, then it execute the statement uh, inside the if conditions, like block of statement or a single statement will execute. And but if test is false, so in this case the statement inside body of if is ignored. So this is all about if statement. And if you are using with else statement, so if condition will be false, then else statement will be executed. So this is the main concept. And this is a programming example. So in this example, you can see here that we are using the main method, and in main method there are two variables, integer a and b, and print inside the print we are printing that enter the first number, means this is for input purpose. So scanf will use for input, and it will take input a value of a, and second print statement take the value with help of scan f, the value of b, and if condition checking that if a is greater than b, means when you enter the number a and b, both number, so the if statement will check the value of a is greater than b or not. So if value of a is greater than b, so this program will print that larger number, and if a is not greater than b, So the else statement will execute. So this is the example, and using the if statement, we can execute the statement inside the if statement, and if condition is false, then else statement will inside the else statement will be executed. So we can also use the concept of nesting with the if statement also. So the nested if else statement is used when program requires more than one test expression. And we can have another if else statement if block or else block. This is called the nesting of if else. So statement here the example of the nesting where we have if else inside both if block and else block. So this is the syntax of if else nesting. Like if condition is true, then inside the if statement will work like second if statement will work, and statement will execute, otherwise else statement will execute. And in the second part of this expression, the else condition will work if condition will false inside the if statement. So the nested if else statement has more than one test expression. If the first test expression is true, so it executes the code inside the text just below, like in this example. But if the first test expression is false, so it check the second test expression. If the second test expression is true, it execute the statement inside the bracket just below in this example. So this process continues. If all the test expression are false, so code inside else is executed and the control of the program jump below the nested if else. So you can see here in this example. And next is else if ladder. So this is the type of nesting in which there is an if else statement is every else part except the last else part. So this type of nesting is frequently used in the program, and it also known as else if ladder. So first the program will check the condition inside the if statement, condition 1, and execute the statement A, and else if again it check the condition 2. If condition 2 means if first condition is not true, so it will check the condition 2, and if condition 2 is true, so the statement we will execute. And if the condition is false, so again it check in condition 3, and statement C will execute. If all the condition is not matching, so finally it will execute the else statement, statement D. So this is the advantage of this else if ladder. So generally we use this type of else if ladder in the mark sheet generation or percentage generation. So It is a very helpful for this purpose. So this is one example. Like you can see here, this is the just a example of grade according to the percentage of marks. So this if else later is the very important for this purpose. If multiple conditions, if you want to check through the if conditions, and if you want to print some uh, more than one condition according to the more than one condition, so you can use it. So the next is loop. So loop are used when we want to execute a part of the program or block of statement several times. So we can use the loop concept. So this statement also called the repetitive statement or iterative statement. So there are there may be a situation when you need to execute a block of code several number of the times. So in general, the statement are executed sequentially. The first statement in a function is executed first and followed by the second and so on. So the programming languages provide various control structure that allow for the more complicated execution path. So a loop statement or repetitive statement allow us to execute a statement or a group of statement multiple times. So in the C programming language, there are various type of loops like a while loop, do while loop, and for loop. So the while loop repeat a statement or group of statement while a given condition is true. Like we can print the 1 to 10 number, 1 to 100 number using this while loop, and if test the condition before executing the loop body. So in this PPT, you can see here that while and syntax of while loop. While inside the while loop, this is the condition. If condition according to the condition, the statement will be executed. If false, so then next statement will execute. And the for loop, so the execute a sequence of statement multiple times, and do while loop like a while statement, except that if it tests the condition at the end of the loop body. So this is example. So in this example, printing of number, like in this example, the program is printing number 1 to 10 number. So you can see here that the main feature of this while loop is that first you have to initialize the value, like you have to initialize the value like int I is equal to 1, and while here again we can put the condition in while loop, So while loop, you can see here that this is if I less than equal to 10, means the initial value is given here, the int I is equal to 1, and the loop will be start from one position, and while loop will execute less than 10 or equal to 10, means uh, the number will print first in the first check the initialize value I is equal to 1, then print the 1 again. The This is the I is equal to I plus 1 is the increment of loop. Just in the while loop, we check whether the test expression is true or not. So in this example, you can see here that the initial value is I equal to 1, and while loop we put the condition like I less than or equal to 10, and then print statement will print one by one. First, the print statement will print the initial value I is equal to 1, and then you can see here that I is equal to I plus 1, means one increment are doing in this statement. Means here the changing the value of I plus 1. So I plus 1 again, while loop check that I plus 1 means 2 is less than 10 or not. So if uh, 2 is less than 10, then it will print the again value 2, and again it will check third time. Now the current value of I is equal I is 2, and then I is equal to I plus 1, means one increment of with the value of 2. So the next value is 3. Again, the while loop will check that 3 is less than 10 or not. If I 3 is less than 10, then it will print the 3. So this loop will be continue with uh, printing 10. First it will print the 1, and then next 2 and 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Finally, when 10 is less than or equal to 1, then it will print. And again, when the value of I will the 11, means 10 plus 1, again the while loop will check that 11 is less than 10 or not. If 11 is not less than 10, so it will stop the execution. So in this way, we can print the number from 1 to 10. So here initially the condition I less than or equal to 10 is true. After each iteration of the loop, value of I increases when value of I equal to 11. Condition become the false. When the value is equal to 11, then condition become false, and the loop terminates. So in this way, the while loop will work. And you can also print the table according to using this while loop. So this is the another example of this while loop. So in this way we can print the many numbers using this loop. So condition is that you have to first initialize the value, and next you have to check the condition, like uh, if you want to print the 1 to 100 number, so you put the I less than equal to 100, then you can print the value, and again you uh, can use the increment of the value I is equal to I plus 1. So in this way we can print the number or table using this while loop. So next is the do while. So in the C programming, do while loop is very similar to the while loop, and only difference between these two loops is that in while loop text expression is checked at the first in case of the while loop, but in do while loop code is executed at the first, then the condition is checked. So it is the main difference between the while loop and do while loop. So the code are executed at least once in do while loop. So first, so in this syntax, you can see here that first we are using the do, then statement executing, and while condition is at the last. So the only this is the difference, like uh, while loop test expression in check the first, but the do while loop execute the first, then the condition is checked. So do while loop is also used for looping. The body of this loop may be contain a single statement or the block of statement, and the syntax of this do while loop is here in this PPT. So in this C program, the inside the loop body are executed, then the condition is evaluated. If the condition is true, then again the loop body is executed, and this process continue until the condition become false. Note that unlike while loop, here the semicolon in place after the condition. So so this is the small differences, but it is very important. In the while loop, first the condition is evaluated, then the statement is executed. Where the while loop, the first the statement is executed, and the condition is evaluated. If initially the condition is false, the while loop will not execute at all. Where the do while loop always execute the at least once. So this is the main difference between while and do while. You can print the number 1 to 10 or table using both loop, while loop and do while loop. Now the next this is loop for loop. So for loop is very important. in case of the matrix addition or matrix multiplication. So for loop is also used for the similar purpose like while and do while loop. So it has a three statement. This is the this in this syntax you can see here. The first is that initialization statement. So initialization statement generally we use inside the for loop, and the condition statement and update statement. Like in initialization statement, we initialize the value. Like while loop, in the while loop, you initialize the value first, I is equal to 1. So same case in this for loop, you can use the I is equal to 1, and the second conditional statement after the this initialization statement, you have to use the semicolon after initialization statement. Then again you can use the conditional statement. So conditional statement, just like while loop, we uh, provide the condition like if you want to print the number 1 to 10, so condition will be I less than equal to 10. And the update statement just like the increment of the value in while loop. You can use the I plus plus I or I plus 1. So initialization statement is executed only once at the beginning of the for loop. Then the test expression is checked by the program. If the test expression is false, for the loop is terminated. But if test expression is true, then the code inside the body of the for loop is executed and then update the expression. Update expression is updated. So this process repeat until the test expression is false. Like if I is greater than 10, so the test expression will be false and the execution will be stopped. So this is the main syntax of this for loop expressions. So expression in the initialization expression. So in this way we can print the value, or we can take the input to the user. So I will discuss it during the programming of matrix in C. So this you can see here, this is the simple example of for loop, just like in the previous example in while loop, the same example is here also using the for loop. Like you can print the number 1 to 10 using the for loop also. So this is the simple program of number printing from 1 to 10 number. And the second example, so in this second example is also printing the number with different conditions. So you can also you can use this for loop just like a while and do while loop, but the knowledge about the main differences between all these loop like while loop, for loop, and do while loop. So syntax are different. So the main use of this for loop, generally we use it during the matrix implementation, matrix addition or matrix multiplication. When you want to input the two different matrices 2 by 2 or 3 by 3. So in this case, according to the row and column, we use this for loop. So I will explain this use of this for loop in the next lecture. So this is the example of nesting loop. So nesting of for loop generally we use for matrix implementation. So in this way we can use it. Now the break statement. So in this break statement, this is also important. This statement is used in terminating the loop immediately after it is encountered. So the break statement is used with the conditional if statement. Like if you want to stop the break, if value is like a number is printing 1 to 10. If you want to break the loop with condition of if number is 4. So the break statement will work here. So the loop will be break and number 1 to 3 will print only. So according to the condition, we can break the loop. So the break statement used inside the loop and switch statement. Sometimes it becomes necessary to come out the loop even before the loop conditions become the false. In such a situation, the break statement it used to terminate the loop. So this statement was to the immediate exit from the loop with the this statement appear, and it can be written as the break. So this is the example. So you can see here the in this example the for loop is working here, and we are checking the condition. If n is equal to 3, then we are using the break. So in this way we can use the break statement. So in this example, the n is equal to initialize, we declare the variable int n, and for n is equal to 1 and n less than equal to 5 and n is n plus plus. So we are checking here condition if n is equal to 3. Like if we are not using this break statement or condition, so this program will print the number from 1 to 5. But inside the for loop with conditions, we can use the break statement. So if n is equal to 3, means n will compare the value. If n is equal to 3, then print I understand the use of the break, and finally it will break the program. So the print the number. So this statement is especially used for print the number 1 and 2, and out of the for loop. So this statement will be print after the complete execution of this program. So if n is equal to 3, then the loop will be break, and it will print only the number 1 and 2. And instead of 3, it will print the I understand the use of the break, and finally it will print the out of the for loop. So this is the main use of this break statement. You can use it in while loop and do while loop also with the conditional statement. Like in which position if you want to break, so it will use this break statement with if statement. Next is the continue statement. So it is also important statement, and the continue statement, just like a break, continue is also used with the conditional if statement. So both are used with the conditional statement, and so the continue statement is used when I want to go to the next iteration of the loop after the skip some statement. And this continue statement can be written simply as the continue. So it is generally used with the condition. And the main the difference between the break and continue is that when break is encounter the loop, terminate and the control the transfer to the next statement following the loop. But when a continue statement is encountered, the loop is not terminated. The control is transferred to the beginning of the loop. Like in this example, okay. So in this example, you can see here that we are using the for loop, and also checking the condition n is equal to 3, and the print understand just like the example is same as the break statement, but we are using here the continue statement. So you can easily understand that how the continue statement will work. Like so you can see here that in the output section, number 1 and number 2 is printing. After that, printing is that I understand the use of continue statement. Okay, and again the number 4 and 5 is also printing. So simply in this continue statement, so continue statement control transferred to the next statement. Control is transferred to the next statement following the loop, but when the continue statement is encountered, the loop is not terminated and the control is transferred to the beginning of the loop. So this is the main use of this continue statement. If the condition is false, then the loop statement after continue, and if condition is true, so continue statement will start with the beginning. So this is a very simple example. Next is the go to statement. So in C programming, go to statement is used for the altering the normal sequence of the program execution by transferring control to the some other part of the program. Like if you want to print the statement number 20, after that statement number 3, so you can use the go to statement. So in this syntax, they will identify when the control of the program reach to the go to statement, the control of the program will jump to the level and executes the code below it. So first it will check the some conditions like in this example. So this is the actually go to statement is just a unconditional control statement. So transfer the flow of control to the another part of the program. So in this example, you can see it. If a number is even, so it is saying that go to even. If a condition is true, so this this is printing go to the even, means even is one another uh, part section that it will search the even, and then after finding the even, then it will print the statement after that the even. And the main feature of this go to statement is that you have to use the colon after the even even statement. So it will print number is even and go to end. So the output is that enter the number 14, means 14 is the even number. So it is true. So the first is the go to even condition will be work, and finally the statement will print uh, number is even and go to end. So the main important concept of go to statement is that you have to use uh, go to end is the essential, because it is saying that you are uh, printing some statement and then stopping the statement also. And after that complete condition will execute, then finally you will use the end print f. Means if according to the condition, if you want to jump the statement, so you have to mention that the which statement you want to jump, and finally you have to use the end statement. So this is the all about go to statement. So any query you can ask with raise hand. So I will start in the next the switch statement. So if any problem in this conditional statement and looping, so you can ask. So this is a practical subject, so need to practice in the system with coding. So any student want to ask questions? So raise your hand. Yes, Sasank Kumar. Unmute yourself. Sasank, you want to ask question? Yes, Shivam, if you want to ask question, if you want to ask question, so unmute yourself.
Excuse me, sir. Hello.
Hello.
Sorry to say, sir. Understand. Can you speak in Hindi, sir, properly?
हाँ हाँ शिवम, बताओ क्या दिक्कत है? कोई कंसेप्ट नहीं समझ में आपको?
Yes, sir.
क्या? कौन सा टॉपिक नहीं समझ में आपको? Unmute yourself.
तो क्लास खत्म हो गया क्या?
So, okay, students. You can give your attendance on the provided link through the WhatsApp. You provide the attendance of today also. And now I'm closing this meeting.